Ottawa is so boring. Have you ever heard this before? For whatever reason, Ottawa gets such a bad reputation for being boring or small, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Ottawa has an amazing offering for singles, families, retirees, from the outdoor enthusiast, those raising family, or for retirement living. In this video, I'm gonna go over everything you need to know about moving to Ottawa and answer all of your burning questions. And stay tuned to the end where I share some of my favorite things about Ottawa and some hidden gems that you might not have known about. If we haven't met, my name is Liam Swords and I've lived in Ottawa all my life. And as an Ottawa real estate agent, I help families move to Ottawa and find their dream home. You know, I get feedback all the time from clients on how much they love our city and how they couldn't be happier to have moved right here to Ottawa. So in today's video, we're gonna cover locations, nightlife, traffic and transit, the languages, events, work opportunities, and shopping. So for location, right here in Ottawa, we have approximately 1 million people who live here, and there's 4 main areas of Ottawa. We have the west, we have central, south, and east. Notice I didn't say north. The reason why is we are bordering on Quebec. So the Ottawa River sort of separates from Ontario to Quebec. So when we take a look at the actual areas, there's urban areas like Westboro, Hintonburg, Glebe, and then there's suburban areas like Finley Creek, Riverside South, Barrhaven, Canada, and Stittsville. There's also some pockets that, you know, I think are kind of sleepy areas, and that would be inside the Greenbelt. So around Hunt Club, these properties were built in, you know, the 70s and 80s. They're a little bit tired inside, but gee, do you ever get value with these properties? Let's take a look at nightlife. We do get flack being in Ottawa as a boring nightlife city compared to, say, Toronto or Montreal. However, I think it's great. And what I feel unique is the various areas for nightlife that we have in Ottawa. Let's talk about the core. We have the ByWard Market in Elgin Street. Then you have the Glebe area where the RedBlacks play, Lansdowne. And then there's the hipster areas in Ottawa. And those areas consist of Chinatown, Little Italy, Preston Street, and Hintonburg. And oh, by the way, if you're looking at relocating to Ottawa, please reach out. I've helped over 1,000 people buy homes in Ottawa, and I'd be happy to help you out. Okay, next, traffic and transit. We have major arteries. So like the east-west would be Baseline, Heron, Hunt Club, Fallowfield, and the north-south arteries in Ottawa would be from the west end, it would be Eagleson, Woodruff, Maryville, Prince of Wales, and Linebank. So as you can see, Ottawa is made up of a lot of different neighborhoods, and the access points are unique from other major cities in that you can move around pretty quickly around Ottawa because of the major arteries. You know, a lot of people nowadays are using apps like Waze or Google Maps to be able to highlight where the traffic is so you can quickly clip off one road and get to the other. So, you know, we used to say you could be anywhere in Ottawa in about 20 minutes. Now, with the government back to work and a lot of construction and congestion, we're saying about 30 to 45 minutes. Much different than, say, Toronto or Montreal, where you could be an hour plus. Now, when we look at transit and LRT, so Ottawa is serviced by OC Transpo, and lots of people use this for their daily commute or to other functions. The LRT system, so the light rail transit system, has been going on for a number of years and is set to open very soon. It goes all the way to Orleans in the east and brings you right through to the west to around Bayshore Moody Drive. Another thing I get asked all the time is, what is the dominant language in Ottawa? Well, it is English. However, we are a bilingual town. So we have a lot of French speaking as well. Being so close to Quebec and being a government city, it allows for that. So for those families looking at moving in, and if bilingual speaking is quite important to them, we got you covered. In terms of events, there's lots. So events, we have the Canal. That's the largest skating rink in the world at 7.8 kilometers. In February, they have a festival called Winterlude that takes place right on the canal. Music festivals, well, Ottawa has you covered. There's 2 quite prominent ones. We have Bluesfest that takes place in the summer in LeBreton Flats, and then there's Folk Fest in Lansdowne. From a Halloween and Christmas perspective, Wesley Clover Park in the West End is a must check out. They do a wonderful job for Halloween. They have Pumpkin Inferno with hundreds of carved pumpkins, light show. It's a must check out. And at Christmas time, there's the Magic of Lights in Wesley Clover Park. You can drive through this totally lit up area. It just brings you right back to childhood. Then there's Canada Day. So obviously being Ottawa, this is where the capital of Canada is. July 1st party is next level. Parliament Hill downtown core transforms into a tourist paradise. Now let's take a look at work opportunities right here in Ottawa. Well, our biggest draw, to no surprise, is the federal government. Like every city, we have jobs for hospitals, teachers, every type of employment is offered in Ottawa like every other major city. But one unique job market is our tech hub. You know, we're often called the Silicon Valley of the North, with major, large tech employers here and lots of startups. For shopping, well, Ottawa does have you covered. I feel like almost every corner in Ottawa has a Shoppers Drug Mart. It feels like just they're everywhere. Most neighborhoods have what's called super shopping plazas, so they'll have grocery stores, hardware stores, usually a coffee shop, drive-through, a gym. And then from a large shopping perspective, we have the Rideau Centre downtown, there's Bayshore Shopping Centre in the west, and then in the east, there's Saint Laurent. Lots of shopping that you can do right here in Ottawa. You do not have to go to Toronto or Montreal. We got you covered. So, as promised, I want to share with you what my top favorite things about Ottawa are. Number one, Gatineau Park. Just 10 minutes after you cross over the bridge in Quebec. You can bike, you can cross-country ski. It's for the outdoor enthusiast, it's amazing. The Canal, largest skating rink in the world, 7.8 kilometers. And pro tip, you should enjoy a beaver tail when you're there. If you don't know what a beaver tail is, picture a pastry, picture a donut smushed down, and it's this long, sort of thin piece of wonderfulness that you just bite into. It is amazing. The original flavor is cinnamon and sugar, and they have other various kinds, which I highly recommend. Another thing I like about Ottawa is you can be in Toronto in about 3.5 hours, or you can be in Montreal in about an hour to an hour and a half. So I know people say that Ottawa isn't like the hub for nightlife and it might be a little sleepy. I challenge that, and I've been here for 40 plus years. But if you need that fix, if you want to be in one of these major cities from time to time, you can just clip and drive there, but you're not going to pay those type of prices, and you're not going to get stuck in all that congestion that we hear all the time from people who live in both Toronto and Montreal. You know, to come to think of it, we got some clients who actually have tickets to the Montreal Canadiens, so like NHL hockey team. Instead of going to see the Sens play in Ottawa, they go to Montreal. They say the experience is better, and they also say the time to actually get there in relation to the time to actually go to where the Ottawa Senators play, it's almost the same. So, you know, the proximity that Ottawa has to both Toronto and Montreal is quite appealing. I also really like our airport. So Ottawa being an international hub, it's so easy. It's easy to get to. Parking's not difficult. We have one terminal. Security's, you know, a breeze to get through. Much different. You know, I get like PTSD when I think I have to go through Toronto or some of these other major hubs. The airport is something that really is a benefit for those that live right here in Ottawa. And for sports, we have Ottawa Centre, so NHL hockey. Yeah, we don't have the Leafs, but we actually win hockey games, and we're not diehard Montreal Canadiens fans, but that's okay. The Sens are here. So we got Ottawa Senators, we have CFL, the RedBlacks, and then we have junior hockey, Ottawa 67. So a really good sort of menu of professional sports that you can take in. It's easy to get tickets, so you're not on some type of wait list or paying some inflated price like some of the other cities. The last but not least, what I love about Ottawa is it's a big city, but it's a small city. As we talked about in this video, to get around Ottawa is not difficult. Sure, it might take you a half an hour, but we're not talking an hour to an hour and a half plus. There's lots of access to kind of like move one way, you know, one road to another road. You're not stuck on one, you know, direct linear path that you have to take. And if there's an accident or something, you know, you're done. I think it's safe. You know, like any major city, there is crime, there's accidents, there's bad stuff that takes place, but we're not talking like, you know, the crime and problems that we're hearing about in other major cities in Canada in that sense. So when I sort of boil it all down, my takeaway from someone who's lived in Ottawa all my life, what I love about the most about Ottawa is it's a big city, but it's also a really small city. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to retire. It's a great place to enjoy nature, outdoor, professional sports, festival, and we'd love to welcome you here. And if you're looking to relocate in Ottawa, as you can see by this video and the other videos, I know Ottawa inside and out, so feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. You know, you don't want to make a bad decision. You don't want to regret buying a property then having to sell it again. And that's why I offer with all of my clients, love it or leave it. And what I mean by that is if you buy a home through me and you're not happy within your first year, I'll sell it for free. I want to make sure that where you buy, you are happy and committed. So feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to explain this in more detail and or just answer any questions you might have about the Ottawa market or about a specific neighborhood. Well, folks, that wraps up everything about what makes up Ottawa. I want to thank you for watching today. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and tap on the bell notification so you can be the first to know and learn about the current market right here in Ottawa. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.